Hello everyone, Blue Star Saber here once again to do another review of The Bad Batch, episode 12, Rescue on Ryloth, in which is a continuation of the last episode, Devil's Deal, in which we see the last episode, Cham Syndulla, his wife, Elena Syndulla, and Gobi were captured, and the other Twi'lek resistance were arrested after being falsely framed for the attempted assassination of Unfree Tar. Due to the fact that Unfree Tar is alive in the Lord of the Sith's books, so the Bad Batch can't really kill him off. Though granted, some would say they've already retconned quite a few things in the first episode, but heck, I guess they're sticking to this bit of canon, which probably caused some controversy with some. But yeah, but anyway, I'm doing this review just before the next episode comes up, episode 13. So anyway, where were we? yes. The Bad Batch, let's see, Vice Admiral Rampart and Captain Halzer, have headed to the detention center where Cham Syndulla and his wife and his fellow allies are. As he ends up as Rampart tries to ask, as he sort of mocks him for being a traitor, even though Cham Syndulla that the people never believed the assassination attempt thing that he's claiming. So he's asking them for where the location of their daughter is. However, he is not telling them they're not telling him anything. Particularly, Elena Syndulla says that given what he's seen to the Empire's done to their allies, she'd rather be their enemies. So we have that. So anyway, they end up leaving. So with Rampart ordering Halzer to scout the area, scout the planet to arrest all of Cham Syndulla's supporters. However, Halzer says that most of the people have not committed any crimes, and this is wrong. However, the Admiral doesn't care because of more menaces. And that he objects to say it, and he also finds it a bit suspicious that Cham Syndulla actually shot the senator because it didn't look like it from what he saw. However, the Vice Admiral tells him to stop doing this as he needs to obey orders. And even though Halzer tries to request that he look for Cham Syndulla's daughter, Hera. Vice Admiral Rampart is allowing Crosshair's squad to do it. Though Chopper has managed to herd this way, as we end up seeing that he's just communicating to Hera after who's managed to escape the Empire capturing her when they went to her family's house. So she ends up contacting the Bad Batch, which they did not know that Omega had given their comms channels to, where she pleads for help that her family that she's being hunted by Empire and stuff. With Omega eagerly wanting to rescue her, the Bad Batch a bit reluctant at first, with Tech even pointing out that this could be an exaggeration. However, Omega persuades them to do it, and they end up going to Hera and all that stuff, where they learn that she is Cham Syndulla's daughter, and she is offering to hire them to help rescue her father and her mother and all that stuff. The Bad Batch are not. Hunter in particular is not willing to do it because he doesn't want to risk his squad's danger, and he doesn't know the danger and all that stuff. However, he gets persuaded by Omega at least to check out the area because of her words of, "I'd try to rescue you if you were captured," and all that stuff. So he offers to at least scout the area to see what's up. If they think they can do it, they'll do it. But if they don't, they're not going to do it. So he promising her no guarantees. I do like how with Omega saying, "Why not? Isn't that what good soldiers do?" when it came to asking them to help and all that stuff. Anyway, they end up scouting the They end up scouting like the Ryloth, city and all that stuff, where Vice Admiral Rampart's trying to make a false speech about how the citizens are concerned for Onfritar's condition, and that Charm Syndulla is a traitor. Though you could probably tell from the crown that many do not actually believe this, because they like Charm Syndulla over Onfritar. Well, not that I can blame them. During this, the Bad Batch and Curative discover that, particularly Omega has spotted Crosshair, which the Bad Batch now has trouble for them. And a probe droid has spotted them, with Hunter taking it out, but it's already too late. As the scouting droid, as the probe droid was able to send images of the Bad Batch, which Crosshair's squad alerted Crosshair to that his former squad is here. The Bad Batch look like they're about to not do the mission because they rather not. It's because due to how strong the capital is, and not to mention Crosshair there. However, this upsets Hera. However, Omega ends up reassuring Hera and ends up trying to try to persuade the Bad Batch too, though not quite much luck at first. Though she eventually reveals to Hera that she does trust the Bad Batch, particularly Hunter, because they're brothers. And for those who are really on board with the whole father-daughter relationship, are probably going to be hard between relationship Omega and Hunter have are probably going to be upset by those words. Like, no, you're his daughter. Hunter's your father. Probably, I'm not sure. I haven't really seen how those people have reacted online. That's what I'm guessing. But yeah, I mean, I'm a little disappointed. But heck, hey, it's always nice and all that stuff. But anyway, she ends up persuading Hera that you know this planet best. You can think up a strategy to do it. Meanwhile, Hauser tries to plea with, I think, Charm Syndulla to tell him where he might know where Hera is, so he can keep her safe compared to what a Crosshair squad will do to her. However, Charm Syndulla and his wife no longer trust Hauser, because they feel like he's betrayed them after years of fighting side by side to keep Ryloth safe. And then the fact that he's chosen his side from the looks of things, with Hauser leaving away disappointed. Meanwhile, Crosshair tries to warn Vice Admiral Rampart that the Bad Batch are here and that he needs to pursue them and all that stuff. However, the Vice Admiral's not hearing it, wanting to prioritize Hera and all that stuff. Speaking of which, Hera comes up with a plan for the Bad Batch to divide their tactics. One to cause diversion, where her and Omega and Chopper will disable these auto turrets in the refinery, while Wrecker and Tech will attack it with their ship. Meanwhile, Hunter and Echo will. I'm yawning at it. Sorry there. While Hunter and Echo will infiltrate the capital and rescue Charm Syndulla and the other Ryloth resistance members held captive. So, which Hunter gets on board with this mission and all that stuff. Let's see. Of course, not everything goes to plan in the mission when they execute it, as Chopper ends up getting captured by the clones. They spot him knocking out the droid and trying to attack the generators comms and all that stuff, comm links to the droids and all that stuff. So Omega and Hera improvise as they steal a Republic, now Empire shuttle that was transporting citizens to get their code chains and all that stuff. Which we get to see Hera taking off a ship for the first time, and as any witty new rookie, ends up crashing into a few things before flying off and then blowing it up. Which disables the turrets and allows Wrecker and Tech to to start attacking the refinery. Tech, of course, being pilot, Wrecker being the firing. I'm pretty sure most people who've watched Bad Batch know this by now. As well, Wrecker likes blowing stuff up. I mean, he did suggest attacking the capital in the first thing, which was not the best strategy. Anyway, the Empire's troops are, heading to the refinery, including, Vice Admiral Rampart, though he orders Hauser to stay here and guard the prisoners. However, Crosshair, just before, as he's getting the shuttle, he realizes that this is a diversion and convinces his squad and a number of clones to stay so they can try and capture the escaped prisoners. Hunter and Echo managed to break the prisoners and tell them that Hera sent them and all that stuff, as Gobi recognized them as the mercenaries, all that stuff. But yeah, and just as they're about to leave the front entrance, Hauser has warns them that, Crosshair and a squad of clones are airing outside, and they're better to escape elsewhere, in which they decide to take on Fritar's personal shuttle kind of thing. Gobi, of course, isn't trusting of Hauser because of what happened earlier. However, he ends up being able to persuade them that he's on their side, and he was wrong to not try and stop the Empire from occupying Ryloth sooner. Elena and Charm Syndulla offered to him to take him with him, though he decides to stay because he wants to try and persuade his squadron and his clone brothers that this is wrong, even if it's futile. He stays behind. Also to keep the clones a bit occupied. Though we do get a little nod from a little look from Hunter, thinking about perhaps maybe his own squad thing, maybe Crosshair perhaps, or at least what Hauser's willing to do. He ends up exiting the front entrance and tries to make an impassioned speech to his clone brothers that what they're doing is wrong. They came here to liberate Ryloth, not occupy it. And he was no longer standing for it, and he asks his brothers to join him. About a few clones do, from what I could tell, 4 to 5 maybe, but the rest remain loyal to the Empire, probably due to their programming. Crosshair commanding them to, from a sniper post, I should probably mention, to arrest the traitors. And they're captured. Well, the Bad Batch and the Twi'lek Resistance, or rebels, managed to escape before Crosshair even has a chance to try and shoot them down. The Bad Batch and the Resistance, are now, about to, go their separate ways, though Charm and, Elena tried to offer the credits that their daughter promised them. However, Hunter does the noble thing and says, keep the credits, as they're probably going to need them to begin the rebellion on Ryloth, as this is happening to planets all over the galaxy right now, with the Empire's occupation. I believe they're also offered to come along with the fight, though. Hunter says that his priority is the squad, though as Charm Syndulla points out. If another war's coming, we all may end up having to probably take part in some point, which probably is building up to when the Bad Batch eventually stop doing mercenary and probably start trying to join the early rebellion work, probably, but who knows. But yeah. Hera ends up learning to scramble communications and where they are and stuff, or at least where they'll be tracked, I guess, from tech. I think it's communications, actually. And she and Omega part ways, just becoming friends, even though Omega doesn't really want to say goodbye to her new friend of Hera. Hera says she must go with her family. And she tells Omega to look out for her brothers as the two end the ways. And the episode ends with Vice Admiral Rampart, realizing that he's underestimated Bad Batch, and gives Crosshair permission to now hunt them down when he requests it. And that's where the episode ends, with Crosshair now being given permission to hunt down his squad and all that stuff. So yeah. Overall, I really like this episode and this two-parter. As we end up beginning to see the early signs of the rebellion on Ryloth during the Empire's age, as we sort of saw bits of it during like the Star Wars Rebels. There's also like the the only thing that so it's a very interesting story you got of Ryloth. You see Ryloth being occupied, you see it being liberated in the Clone Wars, with Cham Syndulla like particularly losing faith in the Republic, but then sort of regaining it back a bit due to Mace Windu's efforts and all that stuff. Trying to make the bet here in the Bad Batch, trying to make the best of it in the previous episode, but once the Empire goes too far, particularly capturing his daughter, he eventually he starts to rebel, and he gets arrested, and then here he is escaping, preparing the next rebellion against the Empire, and all that stuff. In the book, the next bit of the story you probably see is the Sith Lord's book, which you have Darth Vader and Emperor Palpatine coming to deal with the rebels on Twi'lek themselves, which they try to assassinate them, but don't succeed, and I think they lose quite a few resistance members, prolonging the conflict there. And then you finally get to see in Rebels where Cham Syndulla has become so less trusting of outsiders and that stuff. He's only trying to rescue like his own people, and so Hera is able to persuade them that we think of the larger galaxy as a whole, and help that if they help the rebellion at large, it helps Ryloth and all that stuff when they try to blow up a giant transport and all that stuff. And then having struggling again with when Grand Admiral Thrawn arrives, whose his military strategy is able to put the resistance in a tight spot, though eventually Ryloth is liberated, and from my understanding in the Star Wars book Bloodline, Ryloth did not rejoin the New Republic, remained independent, but had free trade, but who knows, perhaps we'll see more of Ryloth in the upcoming live-action shows, maybe the Ahsoka show, perhaps, since that's supposed to be a sequel to Rebels, where we learn the current state of Ryloth. Either way, we're probably going to learn what Ryloth has become after the fall, the first death of Emperor Palpatine, and the fall of the Galactic Empire against the Rebellion, which became the New Republic, but who knows. Anyway, I do like how, I think one of the highlights for me in this episode is Captain Howzer, who's not really convincing about that Cham Syndulla tried to attack Senator Onfrey Tar, and he's continuing to questioning his superiors about hurting citizens of Ryloth and arresting them even though they've done no wrong. Tries to help the Syndullas, but they don't trust him after the last offense, the last episode, showing how after years of working together, they feel betrayed. However, he ends up realizing that what the Empire is doing is wrong, and then starts to fire and tries to convince his brothers to do so. Of course, they get arrested. I'm so glad they're not executed, but Howzer has probably become everyone's new favorite clone, given the fact he's one of the few clones to be seen besides the Bad Batch and Rex to stand against the Empire, though he probably carried out Order 66, though. Speaking of which, it's interesting to see that he probably did carry out Order 66. It seems that his programming has not completely been obey the Empire, good soldiers follow orders kind of thing. And he does end up caring for the citizens of Ryloth, so it goes to show some few dents in the program of Order 66, as Rex mentions, as some have been able to resist to an extent. It seems like Howzer, at least, maybe executed the Jedi, I'm not sure. I don't know if he was with a Jedi at the time. It seems that over the years, he's managed to keep his relations. He's managed to keep the personality of this loyalty and friendship with the Twi'leks and Ryloth and all that stuff, and who knows, which could possibly see to more further clones starting to defy orders, since some end up joining, which might lead to that eventual clone rebellion some are expecting will probably happen in the EU, like it sort of did in Legends, though that was more by the Kaminoans, but there might be some more clones that willingly defect and all that stuff, but who knows? Which would probably eventually result in the Empire permanently replacing clones with just regular troops at the moment, so there's that. Hopefully we'll see Captain Hauser again, maybe, but who knows? If not, let's see, he had a quite decent, minor character arc of like a soldier trying to keep the peace between, the citizens and the Empire, sort of like trying to keep the Empire's goals, but eventually sides with the people. So that is interesting and all that stuff. So yeah. Anyway, let's see, the Bad Batch, after being absent for the majority of this episode, end up becoming a bit more of a focus this one. Though granted, it's still mainly a Hera-focused episode, and I'd probably say a Mega one, but which might be annoying for some people, but they're probably like Hera, but it's probably but I think depending what you feel about Omega, but I do think most people will like the friendship that she and Hera made and all that stuff, and for Rebels fans, these two episodes have been a treat, particularly if you enjoy Hera Syndulla and the Twilight plotline as a whole. So yeah, oh boy, so yeah, the Bad Batch. So yeah, I do like how the Bad Batch, particularly Hunter, is still in the mindset of my squad's my first priority and doesn't want to try and rescue everyone that cries for help. Though I do like how Omega is able to persuade him time by time by saying that she'd do the same she'd do the same what Hera's doing if it's for them, and even able to convince Hunter to at least consider it and all that stuff, and is able to persuade Hera that since she knows that this is her planet, she can probably come up with a strategy to rescue Ryloth and get the Bad Batch, particularly Hunter, on her side, which they do. And like usual, not every plan goes according to plan, going well. But I do like how Hera ends up taking off a ship for the first time and able to do it. And I kind of like text line of your moving is so wild and unpredictable or chaotic that even we're having a bad time. It's working on the Empire as well. So there's that. I do like how Wrecker just wants to blow up the capital, but nope. Let's see. Echo probably got the least to do in this episode amongst the Bad Batch, but I think most people are sadly used to this by now, but who knows? We did have a few episodes before, particularly on Raxar Prime, which I do like how he ends up questioning, why is this happening to Ryloth? This is Raxar. It's not a separatist world, so as we've seen, it's not just as we've seen throughout, the Star Wars shows, lore, and all that stuff. It's both Republic and Separatist worlds are being treated the same by the Empire, particularly the ones that are not exactly would be 100% loyal to them, at least on the Republic side, or at least the more alien species, I guess you could say, because I believe the Wookiees get enslaved. But yeah, so we do get that. Anyway, I like how I do think Hunter probably got some moments to think about from Hauser's actions about whether or not he could probably try and rescue Crosshair. Sorry about that. My neighbors are drilling, redecorating, so if you hear that noise. But anyway, Vice Admiral Rampart. I like how he has that typical Imperial arrogance of focus on this, do not question me, and all that stuff. When How's at first, when rounding up the citizens, and then dismissing his claims for Onfrey Tar's assassination attempt, which he doesn't want that being investigated since he's technically behind it and all that stuff. But yeah, and he even dismissed Crosshair's concerns when the Bad Batch arrived, saying focus on finding Hera. Even until when the Bad Batch destroyed the refinery and helped Chance Syndulla escape. He admits he's at least humble enough to admit that he underestimated the Bad Batch squad, wishing that he actually had them on their side. Let's see, which is probably too late to have happen now since they've moved their chips. So when Crosshair, who I have to admit, I do like how he's able to be the one to figure out the Bad Batch and Hera's strategy of causing a diversion to rescue the Twi'lek Resistance, let's see, rebels, if you will, and has a squad of clones to come behind, which results in Hauser betraying and Ritzy getting himself arrested so that they could escape. He ends up requesting to Ritzy hunt down the Bad Batch because they're becoming a bit of a recurring problem at this point. Ritzy, if they're helping like rebels escape and all that stuff. I'm surprised that Raxus Prime was not brought up, but then again, I guess I didn't know it was the Bad Batch, but who knows? But yeah, he gives them permission as, let's see, they're starting to become a problem, and that's the episode ends. So for the next 4 episodes, because we have 4 episodes left, we're probably going to see very heavy Crosshair trying to pursue the Bad Batch. I assume that eventually he's going to probably find them on Ord Mantell, forcing them to flee the planet and plan the next move, possibly end up going back to Kamino for a final confrontation with him. I'm not sure if the Bad Batch will be able to remove Crosshair's chip or not, or if he'll just permanently remain as an antagonist for the Bad Batch, but either way, we're probably going to get some witsy. We're probably going to get a very big Season 1 finale with like the Bad Batch confronting either Crosshair or maybe going back to Kamino or something, or both, but yeah. Overall, I'll give this episode a 9 out of 10. I like seeing the early stages of the rebellion of Ryloth against the Empire. Seeing that, let's see, not all clones are fully 100% loyal to the Empire, and they do keep some of their individuality or loyalty to some of the citizens that they at least defended during the days of the Republic, even though they probably went against the Jedi. And seeing Hera and Omega's friendship and her taking off, a ship for the first time. Overall, it was a fun episode. I'm looking forward to the next episode, which is tomorrow, which is called Infested, which from what there is no description of what it is yet. The episode after that, I might as well just go with the next episodes. Next one is War Mantle. And that's the last name we've got with episode 15 and 16, all that stuff. So, yeah, we're probably going to see at least, I don't know, something with Infested makes me think of Gitsy Geonosians, but I could be wrong. But heck, War Mantle, it makes me wonder if that's going to be some sort of battlefield or at least preparing for a war. Overall, I've enjoyed these episodes. This later half of Season 1 has been pretty good. I'm not sure how much Star Wars fans have talked about it, but anyway, I am done. I am Blue Star Saber, signing off, and may the Force be with you.